Do you think watering plants in the garden with a bucket during a hot summer does them good? But plants absorb water slower than we provide it. In fact, a large portion of that water passes through the soil, evaporates, and doesn't end up where it needs to be. That's why drip irrigation is the best solution. It provides the right pace at which plants absorb water, and the water is used rationally. Now we will show 3 simple systems made from plastic bottles. Anyone can make them. The first method we will show is absolutely the simplest way. You need a large plastic water jug. Next, you need IV tubing, the needle used for infusions. It is sold in a pharmacy and is very cheap. That is all you need. Next to the plant you want to water, place a tree stump or a brick. Put the bottle filled with water on it. Stick the infusion tube somewhere near the bottom. Of course, turn it so that it drips toward the plant. And look, it really is drop by drop. Do this in the late afternoon and leave it overnight so the plant can soak up the water. I use this method to water plants that do not need regular, daily watering. For example, it is ideal for tomatoes or grapevines. Even though there is a drought, the tomatoes have fruited nicely. Obviously, this drip system suits them. Grapevines, too, although quite drought-resistant, need water occasionally during the summer. Otherwise, the fruits will remain small. Moving on to the next irrigation system. We need plastic bottles and a sponge. The caps will be removed from the bottles. The bottoms of the bottles need to be cut off. We must cut the sponge into sufficiently large pieces. Wedge a piece of sponge into the neck of the bottle so that part of the sponge is inside and part outside. And now let's go set this up in the garden. I am going to water peppers this way. You need to dig holes 6 inches away from the roots. Then place the bottles at an appropriate depth, cover them up, and secure them with soil. Pour water into the bottles and let it work. The water moistens the soil around the roots. The sponge dispenses water directly deep down, right where the roots need it. The best thing about this system is that there is no water on the surface, so the hard, cracked crust on the soil does not form. Moisture stays locked deep in the root zone. This reduces the risk of disease. The water flow rate will depend on the density of the sponge and the size of the sponge piece you wedged into the bottleneck. Watering plants directly from a bucket or hose with tap or well water might seem like an easy job. Water from these sources is often quite freezing for garden plants exposed to summer heat. It is like a cold shower. Do not do this because plants can experience thermal shock. Store-bought irrigation systems are not always easy to implement in a garden. They require precise spacing. Whereas in a garden, plants are not always planted in a straight line at equal inter-row spacing. Placing plastic bottles is flexible. Therefore, take a look at the third irrigation system using plastic bottles. Forget about expensive investments. We will make it easily from plastic bottles and Q-tips. Cut off the bottom of the bottle. This time we need the caps. Punch a small hole in the cap with a nail and a hammer. Take a cotton swab, cut it in half, and insert it into the hole. That is our drip regulator. Place support stakes near the plant root. Turn the bottle upside down and secure it with waterproof adhesive tape to the support stakes. Plastic ties and pins can be used as upper fixators. Pour in the water and watch. Drop by drop, it evenly saturates the root zone. Dehydrated cucumber leaves come back to life in just 1 hour. Why does this work? Hot summer days and temperatures over 86 degrees Fahrenheit create enormous stress for cucumbers. Because of their shallow roots and large leaves, they lose water faster than they absorb it. Cold water from a hose would only shock them. With this system, water slowly soaks the roots, leaves stay dry, and the fruits remain juicy and sweet without bitterness. As you saw, you don't have to spend a fortune on expensive factory-made systems. Even this way, the garden can thrive during summer droughts and yield maximum crops. With a little effort, old plastic bottles, and a couple of smart tricks, you have solved the problem. Drip irrigation goes right where the plant needs it most, in the root zone. There is no more thermal shock from cold well water, no waste and evaporation. Your tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers will be healthy, hydrated, and full of fruit. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss new gardening. Watch the next video on irrigation using plastic bottles that is just appearing on the screen.